I guess my house is a practical example of just about everything that Griff has mentioned in the talk pre-lunch. This is a snapshot of the front, and you can notice the the light-coloured roof, which is a very common advantage in Perth, and also some trees. The next slide goes back to a bigger picture, and that is that it shows an example of Australia and an overlay of Europe, and demonstrates the fact that this is a large country, and therefore what works in one part of the country is not necessarily going to work somewhere else. And so a design has to be specific to the location and take into account the climate to a very large extent. And so comments that are made about my house here probably wouldn't apply to somewhere in Melbourne or into Darwin. The house designed by Solar Dwellings, it got a 9.1 star rating, and just a quick summary in terms of the costs and the year of build to give people some sort of a ballpark feel. A lot of people in the eastern states don't believe that we can build houses that cheaply in Perth. Okay, so in summer there is a large couple of fruit trees at the front of the house which screen and protect the house from the morning sun, and you can also see there's an awning tucked in there which provides additional shelter to two small front windows in the study to provide extra shade, and that awning is taken up in winter. This is the plan of the house. A couple of interesting things. One is that all of the bedrooms are clustered together at the back of the house. Most of the other designs that you've seen will have quite some degree of separation. That was partly forced on the design because it's a fairly small block, 400 square metres. Other than that, it's a classic 2-room deep, except at the very back, where we had to fit in 3 rooms to get the bathroom in. In terms of room arrangement, it's a fairly classic design with 2 bedrooms at least on the south side, all of the living space on the north, and utility rooms on either end to protect the east and the west side of the house. This is a shot of the north side of the house. I selected to have a shade sail up to protect the northern glazing in winter, and obviously in summer. Now it's down, and you can see we've got full-length windows which let in a massive amount of heat and light for winter. I don't have to do any heating inside the house except in the bathroom. That bathroom at the back requires a bit of heating on cold winter mornings. The next shot shows, this is a contrast in terms of summer, a large shade sail over the whole area, going up for about 3.5 metres approximately, and even a vertical awning over the study because the shade sail isn't quite so deep at that point. There's an outdoor deck which helps to stop that reflective heat. In terms of the glazing, when I lived in a previous solar house, I found that the UV coming in through the northern glass destroyed a lot of the internal furnishings. So this time around I was very keen to try and cut down on UV, and I did quite a bit of research with help from Ken Wibley, and chose a low E glass with a high solar heat gain, which is called Comfort Plus. And you can see on the previous slide the contrast between the one at the top in green in terms of the properties compared to right down the bottom, almost cut off, the standard float glass, which you'll get if you don't opt for something better. and I chose Comfort Plus because of the 3 different factors there. This is some details about the house. You can see there's very, very little glass facing east or west. In fact, west there's just one very small window in the bathroom, and it's up very high, so it's extremely well protected. There's a lot of glass to the north and only moderate amounts to the west, sorry, to the south to let the breeze in. I just used standard aluminium frames, white of course, to at least reflect as much heat as possible, and the low E glass. I've got drapes, and you can see a close-up photograph of the inbuilt pelmet and double drapes, which a number of other people have mentioned. You can also see the impact in the morning where the drapes keep the cool air trapped close to the glass. I had made a couple of mistakes in the design, sorry, and so I found I didn't put a door onto the laundry, and so I finished up putting a curtain there, and I also finished up putting a similar type of curtain into the study, which I now can use as a temporary short-term bedroom. It also helps when I'm on the internet talking to people. I can pull it down and not disturb other people in the house. Right. So in terms of external protection of windows, there's another shot there on the right-hand side of the awnings, but on the left-hand side you'll see some wooden shutters which I made up, which protect the southern windows, so I can close them up in summer, and it's another barrier for heat, or also overnight in winter. That big shutter also helps to deflect the breeze, the sea breeze, into that particular bedroom. The walls have got air cell insulation, which is one of probably the most common ways of insulating cavity brick walls in Perth, and it improves the performance of the wall very significantly. I think Griff mentioned without it it's around about 0.7, and with it it's about 1.6. So I would definitely recommend that, or one other type of insulation in the cavity walls if you're going with cavity brickwork. I've got 2 levels of insulation underneath the roof. There's anti-con sitting directly underneath the tin, and you can see that in the left-hand slide, as well as R4 bats on the ceiling. And that combination I find is quite sufficient in terms of insulation. The temperature in the roof tends to be the same temperature as outside. Like a lot of people, I found a problem with the garage, and so I've actually insulated the garage myself, and I've also put an extra layer of insulation between the garage and the common wall between it and the house to try and stop heat coming in from the garage. Airflow through the house, Griff was right in terms of mentioning that there was a bit of a challenge here, and you'll see that in the left-hand corner the house has been set back a bit further from the fence to allow some breeze to get through, and there's a lot of different opportunity for breeze to get through the house and exit on the northern, on the eastern side. To assist with that, there is ventilation, ceiling fans in most of the rooms, and I've also put an exhaust fan, a solar powered exhaust fan, into the roof space, which helps keep the temperature in the roof down as much as possible. In terms of thermal mass, I've got a couple of pictures here, and I've actually had an air blower test done, courtesy of the CSIRO a number of years ago. I got sort of a little bit higher than average, about 32, and I've tried to cork up some of those obvious gaps, but because of the thermal mass, the house still performs extremely well in winter and in summer, and I don't use the air conditioner unless we have one of those heat waves, or in the bathroom in the mornings in winter. Yeah. And so what would I change? Well, very, very little. Probably have less glass on the laundry door, which you can see there. Probably have doors to separate the laundry and the study. I'd probably choose to separate the toilet from the bathroom, but that's a cosmetic thing. And I'd certainly omit gas from the house. But other than that, I'm very happy with the house.
Thank you, Kim Wilkinson.